My name is Barry Allen. And I am the fastest man alive.
Listen to me. There's a war coming. A terrible war.
You have failed this city.
Hello, everybody.
Oh my
Hello,
God,
everybody.
Charles.
I'm busting on poor Karen here because, as it happens, I just got a awesome Flash action figure from the Flash TV show with as Grant Gustin as Barry Allen, the Flash, and I'm just tormenting poor Karen with it by going like the Flash is bopping along to our awesome theme music. So
And I was covering my mouth and dying as he was doing this in front of the camera. Sometimes I almost wish you guys could see what we were doing behind the scenes.
maybe I have to do a screenshot of that. So it's nice to know if, like, wherever Karen gets down, I'm just going to pull out the Flash and he'll be bopping along.
That was pretty funny.
Okay. All right. So, everybody, let's see, on this upbeat, joyous note, we're going to be talking about six, count them, 6 shows.
6 shows this week on the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, we've got all kinds of, like, Gotham's back, and we got more Daredevil, so lots of stuff to talk about.
Yes.
And a very cool episode of Arrow this week.
That's right.
Yeah. So we'll get into that. We'll start off first with Gotham, since it was first in the week and it's back, so we haven't talked about that really. This was Beasts of Prey, the 19th episode of the season, written by Ken Woodruff, directed by, and this is apparently really his name, Eagleson.
I know, right?
Is that like a stage name?
It cannot be real.
Or did he have like hippie parents?
Right. Now, I don't know if you remember this, but I do the Golden Spiral Media podcast for Gotham Underground.
Gotham Underground.
And this was a huge talking point for us, is this his real name or not? And I think he's a lying liar of lies. I really do not believe this is his name.
If it is his name, we apologize.
No, I don't.
We're not trying to put you down. We're just thinking, like,
whatever. If it is or if it's not, it's awesome. I mean, it's an awesome name.
It's got to be easy to remember. Hey, Eagleson.
Sure, but I don't think it's his real name. I think it's his alter ego name. Unless
his last name is pronounced Agilson.
Even still.
Eagle Agilson doesn't. I mean, I got to go with Eagleson because it just rolls off the tongue better. And we got special guest villain this week, Milo Ventimiglia.
Yes.
As the ogre.
That's right.
So, Jess from Gilmore Girls, what are you doing?
I know, right?
Or Peter Petrelli from Heroes. We can go down that road, too.
What are you doing?
But,
that's right.
what are you doing? So, yeah, he's apparently creepy serial killer guy who resembles absolutely nothing like the ogre from Batman comics.
No, nothing.
It's ogre in name only.
That's right.
So...
but they've done that a couple times now.
Yeah. So the general gist of this episode, we were introduced to the ogre, and we've got, I guess, through a series of flashbacks, we find out that he has, I guess, serious issues with relationships.
Yeah.
Big time, because he's got like this poor girl named Grace Fairchild. He kind of like woos her. She becomes his, like girlfriend, only to find out that, when he starts getting a little dark sidey, she tries to leave, and he will not let her leave.
Right. He's got control issues.
Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
He's like making her cook for him, and she's all freaked out that like if she doesn't cook everything just perfect, she's dead.
Right.
Which is not a good, healthy relationship.
Yeah. We kind of compared it to, oh, shoot. What is the name of that movie? With Christian Bale as the serial
American
killer.
Psycho. American Psycho.
Yes. Very
Yeah.
American Psycho. I expected like Huey Lewis in the News to start playing in the background. Do you
believe in love?
Do you like Huey Lewis in the News?
Gotta get back in time.
So yeah, he's creepy, but in a very understated way.
Mm-hmm.
Until that very end, when he decides she's just not good enough.
Right.
And then,
mm-hmm.
And then the picture.
Oh
Snap.
yeah. Yep.
Open up the case, put it in with all the other pictures.
Yep. So you find out like this isn't just like a one-off. He's a serial killer.
Right.
Big time. So he's got like a whole like little treasure chest of memories.
Right.
Yep. It's not good. So yeah, we get and let's see. Meanwhile, you've got Fish still stuck on Dr. Dullmacher's island of Dr. Dullmacher. I don't know what else to call this. It's like,
Yeah.
it's this isolated plot that just, you're not quite sure why this is happening, but unless it's just a place to give Fish something to do and get her out of the picture for a while.
Right.
But she's stuck on the island. She's you can see the wheels turning. She gets a whole, she glimpses this helicopter, and she's figuring out her plan of escape.
Can she be done already?
Yeah. Well,
I tire of that.
Thankfully, we don't have long to go. We only have 3 more episodes of her.
Yeah.
Because as the actress revealed, she's only signed for 1 season.
Mm-hmm.
So Jada Pinkett Smith is only around for 3 more episodes, presumably. And she was shot in the gut in this episode.
Right.
So maybe that would be a little quicker. But
yeah, I'm just tired of that. I feel like they're kind of dragging it out.
Right.
And I don't know whether that's because she is signed for the full season and they kind of weren't sure whether she was coming back or not, and they kind of had to drag it out or not. I don't know what it is, but her storyline has really kind of deteriorated. I really liked her at the beginning of the season. Really, really. But this whole, it's contrived, I think.
Yeah.
Where, in this episode, they overpowered Dr. Dahlmacher just by having 5 or 6 guys.
Right.
When they could have done that the whole time.
Now, I did like the fact that Fish actually had a plan and used a bunch of guys to basically be cannon fodder.
Right.
She sends those guys out by the gates. They gun those guys down.
Those guys were idiots.
She and the people she really cared about snuck off on the helicopter. Right. And she's like, suckers!
Why are you telling us that? You don't like us.
Yeah.
Duh!
Yeah, exactly.
Figure it out, dumbasses. Yep.
So, yeah. So, sucks to be you. We're off in the helicopter. Bye!
Yeah.
And but then, of course, as they're leaving, Fish gets a bullet to the gut.
Yep.
As a nice parting shot. Ba-dum-bum. Get it?
Oh.
Parting shot.
I see what you did there.
You see what I did there? Yeah.
I do.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Penguin is engaged in real estate by going off and buying this really crappy rundown bar.
Yep, from Large Marge.
From Large Marge. Very well played.
Thank you.
Tell him Large Marge sent ya. For you Pee-wee Big Adventure fans.
Thank you for getting my reference.
How are you not going to get Pee-wee's Big Adventure? If you don't get Pee-wee's Big Adventure references, there's something seriously wrong with you.
Thank you.
As far as I'm concerned.
I'm very glad.
Yep.
She was Large Marge, wasn't she?
She wasn't as large as Marge.
No, but
she was in that ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get. It's a fair comparison.
She was Large Marge-esque. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. But and apparently the Penguin's whole purpose for buying this crappy rundown bar, as he tells his assistant Gabe, it's where he's going to kill Don Maroney.
Right.
So he's apparently the Penguin has sat down and watched The Godfather, and he's figuring out to leave the gun behind the toilet and go in and get the gun and kill Maroney. I guess I don't know.
Take the cannoli.
Yeah, drop the gun, leave a cannoli.
Right.
Or take the cannoli. Yeah, drop the gun, take the cannoli.
Yep.
But
Yep.
Yeah. So that's what is going on with him.
Yeah, his part was very small.
Yeah. Harvey Bullock, reveals that the cops apparently are freaked out by the ogre.
Mm-hmm.
Because the ogre tends to go after their loved ones.
Right.
And that's not good.
Right, which means that the fact that Gordon was given this case is kind of a setup.
Right. And he was set up by
the commissioner.
Commissioner Loeb.
That's right.
Who hasn't really gotten along with very well.
No, he's not his bosom buddy.
Yeah, nicely played. Brilliant. That's a nice Peter Scolari reference for all you childrens out there.
Thank you.
Well played.
Yeah, I'm on it today.
You're in the zone. But
juggling.
Auto zone.
Juggling and skating through the park.
Yep. Nice.
Keep it to yourself. It's my
life. Yeah. Okay. So we're doing Billy Joel resets. Okay. Yeah. So we find out that Loeb's the one who put Gordon on the case because he wants to, say, oh, it would be a shame, if, say the ogre killed, Barbara or, maybe some a certain, Dr. Leslie Tompkins that you're kind of dating right now. Wouldn't that just be horrible?
Well, but they don't say anything about Barbara. They say Lee. I mean, the only one they're talking about is Lee.
That's true.
And so.
But we do see Barbara with the ogre in the previews for next week.
But shush. I think this whole episode is a misdirection for people that only watch on the surface.
But we here at the Fandom Zone.
No, I mean everybody. I'm sure everybody watches the preview for next week, and we see that they're going for That he's going for Barbara, obviously. Yeah.
We can't hope that he'll kill Barbara, can we?
Well, I don't know.
Fingers crossed.
That's something that we'll talk about in episode 5.5 of the Fandom Zone. But I think this episode was meant to be a bait and switch, where he's going to be worried about Lee, and he's not even going to be thinking about Barbara. But the ogre is going to go for Barbara, and that in that way. Gordon's going to be like, what can I have in my hand here that's going to make you forget about what I got in my hand over here?
Nice. Well done.
Beverly Hills Cop 2. Thank you. That's a horrible Gilbert Gottfried impression. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I appreciated it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. The other thing of note, well, we've got Bruce and Selena.
Oh.
Those wacky kids tracked down Reg, the guy who shot Alfred, at this shooting gallery flop house place.
Shivved him. He shivved him, right? Stabbed him? Didn't shoot him.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
No, but the place where it's called a shooting gallery.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where's that?
He thought it was a gun range, which
Yeah.
I thought that was cute. He said shooting gallery. Oh,
Yeah.
you idiot.
Yeah. Yeah. And Selena's giving the eye roll like,
Yeah.
please. This is why I'm not dating you.
Right. The whole head eye roll. Come on. And
With
then,
a finger snap.
that's
Please.
right. I thought it was great, the two of them working together. And Bruce is really starting to show his fierceness.
Darkness.
Yeah, in this scene. But
Yeah.
also the fact that he has a limit.
Right.
So
Where apparently Selena does not.
Selena doesn't. And we already know she's not going to have a limit in the future.
Yeah.
But she also recognizes Bruce's limit.
Right.
So, Red, they're questioning Reg. Selena takes his medicine.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is
air quotes.
yeah.
The medicine.
Which is
With the
apparently
lasers, with the sharks, with the freaking laser beams.
reeves. Which is apparently what, like a bottle in a brown paper bag? Is that what it is? It's like a pouch with, I'm sure it's liquor in it, right? Is that or under the over the counter drugs? I'm guessing
It's a good home remedy.
Yeah, something. Yeah. So she's holding it out the window.
It's Robitussin.
There you go. Purple drank.
Dimetap. I don't know.
She's holding it out the window. Bruce is asking for questions, and they finally have him on the ropes. He gives up this guy, and I can't remember his name. Darn it. Oh, his name is great.
He gives up a couple of names, basically saying that the Wayne board, Wayne Enterprises, hired him to take out Alfred as a way to scare Bruce off of going after them.
Right.
Right. So, which we all knew.
Yeah.
But
keep talking.
So
Let me find this guy's name.
That's all right. He gives up a couple of names, and like you said, and Selena drops the medicine bottle out into the fire escape. He leans out the window, which is a brilliant move.
Yeah, duh. Well,
to go after the medicine on the fire escape, and Bruce, in a very disconcerting moment, starts to reach out and acts like he's going to push Reg out the window.
Yep.
But stops himself.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens? Selena quickly steps in and is like, "Boop,
yep.
See ya," and gives her the old heave ho, and he's like, ah.
Well, Selena recognizes. She looks at Bruce and says he'll never be able to do this.
So the good news is, Bruce, you're not a murderer, but you are now an accessory to murder. Well done.
But honestly, I don't think he cares that much.
No, but the fact that
somewhere down the line he might.
Yeah, he's broken the law. So
right. Yeah, well,
he should be
in
prison for this.
I don't think many people would care.
Probably not in Gotham.
Yeah, I don't think.
Still.
I don't think Reg is on the radar. The guy's name is Sid Bunderslaw.
Okay.
That he gives up, which is such a Gotham name, right?
Sounds like a salad.
Right. Sid
Bunderslaw salad.
Bunderslaw. So great. I love it.
All right. So anything else you want to add about this episode?
Nope. Let's just give our ratings.
All right. What's your rating?
7 obvious photocopies out of 10. And that is in reference to Ed saying
Edward Nygma.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's not a real piece of evidence. It's a photocopy. Yes, I know. I get it. I love that scene.
I did like that scene too. Any scene where Corey Michael Smith is in it as the future Riddler is gold with me. I'm good with it.
Me too.
So I gave this one 7 out of 10 bullets to the gut.
Ouch.
Yeah, if only it was 6 more bullets to Fish's gut, but sadly that was not the case. It's only 1. But better luck next time.
Yeah.
So okay, we're gonna move right along in our quest to get under an hour. Yeah, right. We're gonna move along to The Flash and the All-Star Team Up, written by Granny Godfrey, who sounds like that's an alias for Granny Goodness. I don't know, or Glorious Godfrey from Apocalypse, one of those,
Mm.
and Kai-Yu Wu, directed by Kevin Tancharoen, who I did find out is in fact Marissa Tancharoen's brother.
Oh, cool.
So basically, the brother of the woman that's married to Jed Whedon,
Okay.
Joss Whedon's brother, and they're producers on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So
Works
anyway,
on The Flash.
her husband is directing episodes of The Flash. So there you go.
Oh,
Or at least
no.
it's kind of involved.
They could be trading secrets.
Exactly. Kevin's probably like, a double agent for Marvel, trying to worm his way into DC. I don't know.
Who cares?
It's sounding cool. I
Who
don't know.
cares?
All right. So
I'm okay with it.
yeah, we got special guest stars.
That's right.
Special guest all-stars. See how that works?
Ooh, I see
we
what
got
you did there.
Yeah, Brandon Routh appearing as Ray Palmer / Iron Adam.
Yeah. What is that about?
I know.
I'm going to be mad about that until
yeah.
it's done.
Yeah, we got Emily Bett Rickards reprising her role as Felicity Smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Emily Kinney from The Walking Dead.
That's right.
Poor sweet Beth.
Yep.
Is now a very campy villain called the Bug-Eyed Bandit.
Yeah. What is that about?
Well, yeah, it's an Adam bad guy, a very obscure Adam bad guy.
Very.
I might add.
Yeah. Let's just.
So,
can we never see arm fall off, boy? Please. Never.
That would be awesome.
No,
awesome.
that would not
Legion
be
of,
awesome.
Legion of Substitute Heroes. I want it. I want that show.
No.
And Amanda Pays is Dr. Tina McGee once again.
I know,
so that
yay.
was cool. Any episode with her, I'm good with.
Me too.
So basically, we have Felicity showing up and surprising everybody at Star Labs, saying, "Hi, I'm back."
Hey, look
and
at my boyfriend.
Yeah, here's my boyfriend, Iron Adam, flying in. Shh. And he's all, "Hi, everybody. I'm Ray."
I hope you don't mind. I told someone else about your secret, Barry.
It's okay. He's a superhero like me. That's great. So, the whole point is that I guess Felicity suggested to Ray that there's this guy in Central City named Cisco Ramon who's really cool techie guy, and he might be able to patch up your suit.
Yep.
And so he does that, and Ray and Cisco get all bromance.
Right.
They're all high-fiving and, like, dude, no, you do, dude.
Bro. There was a bro even.
Oh, yeah, it could be there's bro.
Right.
Bro, yeah. Bro.
And a bit of talk about making the gloves on the suit a little softer.
Yeah.
After a fist bump gone awry.
That's true. Yeah, Ray's wearing the Iron Adam suit and high fives, or no? Was it
a fist
or
bump?
Okay, fist bump. And yeah, then Cisco almost like breaks his hand on. Ouchie.
Yeah.
It's like brilliant guy. Really didn't think that one through.
Nope.
No common sense.
It was a spur of the moment thing.
Yep. And Felicity meanwhile notices that Barry's a little moody and withdrawn.
Mm-hmm.
They go out to the Jitters coffee shop, the whole hip hanging out place where we can actually have a conversation. And
in public.
Tries to get him to open up.
How many times has he revealed his secret in public?
Who knows? I can't keep track. It's very frustrating.
He said that in Jitters, right?
Yeah. It's like I keep hoping that there'll be something will happen where there'll be this big memory wipeout and we'll get the slate cleaned again. But
yeah,
hopefully.
I'm sure someone's overheard it at some point.
Yeah,
it's just silly.
So
no, they have a heart-to-heart.
Yeah, they do have the heart-to-heart. Because Barry's all concerned about. He's got this whole thing with Harrison Wells that he knows is the Reverse Flash. It's weighing on him. He's worried because he can't trust his friends Cisco and Caitlin. That's bothering him.
Well, yeah, it's niggling.
Yeah.
I think he trusts them, but there's just a little part of him that's not sure whether they're on board with him or there's a part of them that are
right
kind of working with Wells.
Now later, Felicity and Ray decide, oh, hey, let's double date with Eddie and Iris, and let's bring along Barry as a spare fifth wheel.
Oh, the
because
worst.
that's not awkward at all.
The
So
worst.
so they go out to this fancy restaurant, which Ray ends up like buying out because he wants his privacy.
By the way, that's such a romance novel trope.
Yes.
It is. It's the worst too. And the heroine always loves it. And I thought, how awkward would that be?
Right. It's like, oh, by the way, like I know that you are crushing on this guy or this girl that's, off with a guy that you're not that great about. And, she's not into you. She's into him.
Right.
So that won't be
Let's all
awkward
go out
at
to
all.
dinner in a place that's empty.
And you broke up with Linda Park, so you don't have anybody.
Right. And
So
this restaurant will be completely empty except for us. We'll only hear our talking or the clattering of our forks on our plate.
Yeah, exactly. No ambient noise distracting.
Have you ever seen that SNL skit where the family isn't talking? You just hear their silverware clanking on their plate the whole time.
I might have.
And then
I
they
can't
yell.
remember it right.
And then they have a fight, and then they go back to clanking their silver. This whole conversation was just terrible.
Yeah.
And of course, it just deteriorates into.
Yeah, because you've got like Barry's. He's all wrapped up in Barry world. He can't focus on anything, right?
Right.
And you've got Iris and Eddie fighting because Iris can't trust Eddie because she senses with her Iris sense that he's lying to her about something, which is Barry's secret identity, and he's apparently, as for a cop, he's a very horrible liar.
Yes.
So there's that friction.
Well, Eddie he was really making me mad in this one.
Was it Eddie? I see Iris is making me mad in this episode.
Both.
Okay.
Both. But Eddie with the, hey, I just learned your secret and I can't keep it even for a second.
That's true.
I mean, I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like a puppy that wants to be let outside.
Right.
He's like, I got all this. I need to be honest with Iris.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
You don't. Not in this case. No.
You got to tell her about everything you do.
No, in fact, a cop can't tell things.
Exactly. So
there are things a policeman cannot tell their significant
See, I get your
other.
frustration in that regard. I totally get that.
And then Iris was just being bitchy.
Yeah, I really hate the way the writers are handling Iris.
Yeah.
Because it seems like, well, unless you're perfectly honest with me about everything you do,
right?
I'm hip to you, and we can't have a good relationship,
right?
Unless she's looking for an excuse to get out of the relationship.
Right. Here's an easy solve, right?
Yep.
He's a policeman. I'm working on a case. There's details I cannot give out, and it's really weighing on my mind, but I can't tell anyone. I'm very sorry.
Right.
Done and done.
So what does Iris do? She decides, okay, well, guess what? I'm going to move back in with my dad.
Right.
But
they want to use this as an excuse to break them up.
Yeah, and then she gives him the ultimatum.
Right.
Which is like,
if you can't tell me, then I got to go.
Yeah, we're done. Right. It's like no guy wants to hear the ultimatum.
Then he's out.
That's like the dagger to the relationship right there.
Right. Don't girls understand that?
Guys do not respond well to ultimatums. Newsflash.
Never.
No pun intended.
I have always understood that. Always. I've never issued an ultimatum unless I meant it.
Right.
Right?
If you're going to play the ultimatum card, you better you better mean it, and you better do it sparingly. Right. Don't just ultimatum like, oh, it's Tuesday, ultimatum.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I do think she means this one, but I don't think she understands what she's doing.
Yeah.
I don't think she gets that he has to keep secrets from her.
Yeah.
So
meanwhile, we've got
let's talk about the bees.
Yeah, let's talk about the bees. It's basically you've got Emily Kinney's Bug-Eyed Bandit being like a campy 60s Batman villain, complete with bee puns and stung, and
Yeah.
it's just they wrote her some horrible dialogue.
Right. Which was the fun part of it, though. Kind of, right?
If you're into camp, you would appreciate this,
Right.
but it bugged me, no pun intended.
Yeah.
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 Uh,
It was the fun part of
Yeah.
her character, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because basically her whole thing is, I'm going to take out people from Mercury Labs because they sacked me from Mercury Labs, as they find out later talking to Tina McGee at Mercury Labs, that, she was fired because she was misusing the mechanical bees, and so she's out for revenge.
Right. Right. Although
Uh,
she was trying to hurt people with them,
yeah, well,
and that's why she was fired.
yeah, and she killed this poor girl early in the episode.
The doctor.
Yeah.
What was that about?
I don't know. She just like has the bees fly into her car, and the car crashes, and she's dead, and that's
Yeah,
not cool.
It's not good.
Not cool. So,
And then she was like holding a bee later. You need to go and kill that guy, and bee flies off, and
yep.
this was like my worst nightmare because I'm allergic to bees. I hate
Ooh.
bees. So
Yes. So you're like Cisco, because
Yes.
Cisco, find out, is very bee phobic.
I felt Cisco's pain in this episode big time.
Yeah. So, but Cisco overcomes his bee phobia.
Yeah, I wouldn't though.
Because he steps up to the plate later. But
I was
but
stung
first-
by a bee in my foot once, and they had to cut my shoe off.
Ooh.
That's how much I swelled up.
I've only been stung once in my hand, when I was just like, I had my hand down, the bee must have gotten on my hand, and I reached up and I was like, I felt something a little tickle, so I scrunched my hand together
Mm-hmm.
and drove this
Oh.
into my hand.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was not
Ouch.
good. Yeah.
Well, I was wearing shoes that had like cutouts. They were flats, like ballet flats, but they had little cutouts in them.
Mm-hmm.
And my skin was coming through all the little holes because my foot had swollen so much. So that's why they had to cut my shoe off of my. Yeah. They were kind of like, they would be sandals, but they had a toe. So, yeah, it was gross. But anyway.
That's not good. No.
So I understood completely how Cisco felt about the bees.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
So we got the Bug-Eyed Bandit about to murder Tina.
Yes.
But who saves the day? But Iron Adam flies in, swoosh.
Well, somewhat.
And lures the bees away, sort of, but then he crashes.
Well, the van
Yeah.
picks him up, which was awesome.
Yeah, because he's like out of control. He's like, I gotta land somewhere.
Yep.
So they do the whole business of trying to open the back of the van so that he can fly into the van. And
that thing was cool. Cisco says, "Do you see the van? Yeah, we'll catch you. You'll catch me.
Yeah.
We'll catch him. Yeah, we'll catch you."
Yeah, it was all like Empire Strikes Back, where the Millennium Falcon swoops in and scoops up Luke Skywalker. Yeah. Okay.
You've been watching that trailer all week, haven't you?
But it's such a good trailer, isn't
I know it is.
You just get this big warm glow when Han and Chewie show up.
I know that last frame.
Chewie, we're home.
Yeah, I know that last.
And you're like, squee. Yeah. Okay.
He's still gonna die in this movie.
Yeah, yeah, because that was his only condition for coming back, was that Harrison Ford is like, I'm not coming back unless you kill off Han Solo.
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm a jerk. I want Han Solo to die.
Hey, no.
Yeah.
You know what? Someone's got to die.
Yeah, but
in these movies,
why can't Han just go off and be retired smuggler?
I know.
Or but I guess he's going to go. Hopefully, he goes out in a blaze of glory.
He's my favorite character, so I'm not saying that lightly, but
yeah,
I get it.
Right.
He wants to be done with it. Okay, so anyway,
yeah. But before we got into Star Wars digression,
now that the Atom, that's Ray, lures them into the water, but it also kind of fries his suit, so he goes into the van, and his part's done. And then the Flash is with the Bug-Eyed Bandit, and he's like holding them off, kind of. and Felicity's battling with her computer to computer.
It's hacker versus hacker.
And she says, I finally have a nemesis. I kind of like it. Which I thought it was like the best. I almost isolated that line. I might have to put it in our soundboard because it was an awesome line. And then finally, she deactivates the bees and they all kind of freeze in midair and then they go blip, belly up on the ground. And then she goes, done, drop the mic. And she says, well, theoretically, because I don't have a mic.
Even though she had a microphone in front of her.
Yeah, but it wasn't one she could drop.
It wasn't a mic drop.
Yeah, she just kind of gestured at it, which I thought was cute. And of course, the end, there was, and I don't get this because they had seen this several times throughout the episode, a lone bee was stuck in Ray's suit.
Right.
Duh.
This was after a lone bee was stuck in Barry's suit earlier in the episode.
Right.
So here we are again. So you've got the lone killer bee ready to strike, but who takes the bullet or the bee bullet? Cisco steps in.
Yep. It was going for Ray, I guess.
I'm thinking it was going for Caitlin. He was saving Caitlin.
Yeah. Well, it was going for one of them.
Yeah, he crushes on Caitlin. So
yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
But Ray thought Cisco was saving him.
Right. Either way.
Yeah, either way. So he saves the day.
He has the hots for both of them. So
you think he's got the hots for Ray?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay.
He's got a thing for Ray too. Why not?
Okay.
It's a bromance.
You've just started tons of fanfic.
I have not started it, trust me.
Okay, so you're just following up on the
If there's something out there, there's sex fiction about it.
The slash fic.
Right. Yep. So he takes the bee sting for them, and then of course Flash comes up and does the with his hands and and
I'm a human defibrillator.
Brings him back to life. Now, how many people died in this episode?
Yeah, it's like, why didn't
Barry?
you just think of this? Yeah, Barry died because I think gets brought back by a remote control defibrillator. That's by the way, you have a defibrillator in your suit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so just happened for just such an emergency.
Right. Well, yeah. That was convenient.
That's what exactly. Very convenient.
And then Cisco died.
But Cisco's death had a purpose because he kind of was getting flashbacks.
Mm-hmm. Get it? Flash.
Get it? Yeah. See what? Yeah. And
you didn't even know what you did there.
Oh, I know everything.
Okay.
I just act like I don't know. But he had the alternate universe memories flooding back into his brain somehow. I'm not quite sure how those alternate universe memories just popped back in, but they did.
They're leaking.
Yeah, so he had memories of Wells as the Reverse Flash killing him.
Do you think it's because he died?
I don't know. Maybe in the afterlife you can but see, he was accessing those memories, before, like throughout the episode. He had like 3 times.
No, I mean, do you think it's because he died in the other?
I don't know. Maybe
time thing.
Could be. My theory is that because we know that Cisco Ramon in the comics becomes Vibe, that he has certain vibratory powers that
attune him a little bit.
Attune him to different vibrational frequencies. So maybe the vibrational frequencies of the alternate universe, maybe he's sensitive to that. Just speculation on my part.
Could be.
Could be that. Could be.
Do you think he's also a meta that he just hasn't come into his powers yet?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's coming. It's a coming.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether that was where he got his powers from or not.
And maybe down the road we'll get the explanation. Oh, that's why you remember that alternate reality.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he has them. They're just under the surface.
Yep.
He senses things.
He may have been already affected by the particle accelerator.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
But they haven't manifested.
But he just doesn't know it yet. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Or they have manifested, but he doesn't know it yet. This may be why he's he's so good with electronics too. Like maybe he's even better now with them.
Could be.
Because he's attuned to that sort of thing.
Attune, yeah, I get. See what you did there. Tuning, vibration.
No, I'm serious. Vibrations would help with that sort of thing, right?
Right.
I'm being serious. You're laughing at me, but I'm. Anyway,
so yeah, well, we and the last thing we ended up with was Cisco and Caitlin get invited to Barry's lab, where he and Joe sit him down and say, "Oh, guess what? We think that Harrison Wells is the Reverse Flash." And that's when then Cisco reveals that he's had dreams.
Yeah, Caitlin doesn't believe it.
Yeah, Caitlin's not buying it until Cisco is like, "Oh yeah, I've had these dreams about him killing me."
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, "Whoa, really? That's interesting."
Yeah.
So
she's still
maybe
not
she's
sure, but she definitely is. Yeah.
She will be.
She will be.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
So what did you? Anything else in this episode?
That's all.
Okay.
I just think there was a lot of bitchiness and a lot of there was a bit of contrivedness. However, the storyline with Ray and the bees and all that, and getting closer to Harrison Wells' storyline made up for all the
deficiencies,
the Eddie and Iris thing.
Yeah. See, that one lowered my expectations of this episode.
Yeah,
I only gave. Go ahead.
They're trying to get broken up.
Right.
And Eddie, is he gonna end up being a bad guy? Because he is.
Well, he is a Thawne.
I know.
Thawns are
not good.
They're not good. No. So.
But right now he's a good guy.
At the moment.
Right. So. I would hate to see him be a bad guy.
But because you got to go the superhero trope of, like my best friend became my enemy.
Right.
And we're fighting now.
Right. I know.
So, yeah.
All right.
So, what did you give this episode?
8.5 buzzy memories. For Cisco and his buzzy memories.
Yeah, I was going to give this one. I wasn't sure. I was kind of torn. I did 8 out of 10 robot bees. But I was also going to go 8 out of 10 chest defibrillators.
Okay. Either way, that's good.
Either way. So, all right. Now we move on. A little lighter subject. We move on to iZombie.
And I am zombie.
Zombie.
Zombie. Hey, hey.
Not to be confused with Maggie, who was kind enough to review our episode on iTunes.
That's right. Hi, Maggie.
Yeah. Hi, Maggie. This is Flight of the Living Dead. Get it? Flight of the Living Dead, not Night of the Living. Okay,
I get it.
Yeah, written by Deirdre Mangan, directed by David Warren, and we have a skydiver, poor female skydiver that ends up impaled on a tree limb.
Oh.
Chunk. There you go.
Thank you, Sean.
Yep. Thanks, Sean. So it worked. Yeah, it works good. And we find out, Liv's and Ravi are just kind of kicking back. They're like, they're talking about Liv's diet. They're very casual about it. And then all of a sudden, Liv's roommate Peyton calls her up on the phone. Is like, guess what? Our friend, Holly from our sorority, she's dead, and she's that body in the tree that you're looking at. So don't.
Did you enjoy the conversation she and Ravi had there?
I did. They're just very casual about it, like they're a married couple talking about it.
Who would you eat first?
Yeah.
Well, I think I'd try and see if someone had an apple or a sandwich.
Right.
I love that conversation.
Yeah, it was good. We had Major going to see Clive and saying, dude, there's all these missing teens. Why aren't you doing something about this?
Yeah.
And Clive's like blowing him off, like, I don't know, dude. It's not really my thing. I'm here in a homicide, not missing persons.
Is it red up on the board?
Yeah, is it
If
on the
it's not
board?
red up on the board.
And my boss is giving me crap that, like I only focus on the board
Right.
because,
Yeah.
boss jerk.
But
So
Clive is kind of a softie. So
yeah, so he's like, okay, I'll go check it out
I'll
later.
kind of look into it.
Yeah, I'll kind of look into it. Liv, meanwhile, is like, well, I don't really want to eat my friend Holly's brains, but I do want to find out how she died.
Yep.
So nom nom nom. And that ends up giving her the personality traits of being more wild and carefree.
I know.
Like
It was
Holly,
so
an
sweet.
adventure. And so basically, Liv's kind of been in a little shell because before she became a zombie, she was all wrapped up in being like the best doctor ever.
Right. Overachiever,
Right,
perfectionist.
exactly. And then after she became a zombie, she had to break up with her boyfriend. Was it fiance or boyfriend?
Fiance.
Fiance, thank you.
Now
So
she's
it
all
broke-
emo.
So yeah, so she was like, I'm a zombie now, and I can't date poor Major, and no, 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 no.
Yep.
So, but here she's like springing back to life. She's
Yep.
riding bikes, just without a helmet. She's crazy. She's riding down the street without a helmet, like
Yep.
everybody used to do back in the day before overprotective parents got freaked out and was worried about head injuries all over the place.
Well, it's really not a big deal for her.
No, because she's already dead.
Already dead. I mean,
As
she
the theme
could.
song goes, dun, 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 I'm already dead. Dead
Although
Boy Elephant Man.
I'm
Yeah.
guessing if she falls off the bike and her head is
Yeah.
crushed, she's really, really dead. But
If her head splits open, that's,
but still,
she'd just walk around with like her head kind of like,
I don't.
oh, this is really embarrassing that
At
my
this
head's
point, I
all
don't
split.
think she cares.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, but she does get some memories though of Lowell, the hot guitarist guy,
Hmm.
like not wanting Holly to jump.
Yeah.
So, we get a little heavy sigh
That's right.
from Karen.
Lowell.
So you like Lowell?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. You approve
I
of
do.
Lowell?
I do.
So you've kind of pushed Major off to the side and
No, not off to the side.
Okay.
I think she could sow some wild oats here.
Oh, okay. So she's room to be a player.
Sure.
Okay, she's gonna play the field.
I'm okay with whatever she decides.
Now there was a great sequence where Clive interviews Lowell, and Liv interrupts. She's got like all kinds of questions for Lowell, and Clive's like, "I thought I was doing the interrogating here. What's up with this? You're the morgue doc, like the morgue technician. What are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
So Lowell, we find out, is actually pretty interested in Liv and ask her if she has a boyfriend right off the bat.
Yep.
So that's cool.
He kind of recognizes a kindred spirit in her.
Yeah, and while she's all looking for clues at Carson's, Lowell catches her. But instead of, them turning it into a thing, he's like, okay, let me make you a drink. And it's going to be, we find out that it's hot peppers, which, she's like, hot peppers? Why, that means you're a zombie too.
That's right.
I'm a zombie, you're a zombie, he's a zombie, she's a zombie.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you like to be a zombie too?
And he explains why he knows that. And this is the first we've heard, right? That they try and keep their fingernails clipped.
Yeah.
So,
Which is,
I mean, what is that about?
maybe it's a good hygiene. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Or maybe they're like icky. They look decayed or something. So
Okay.
I'm guessing. I don't know. Maybe they're afraid and they look, it's a giveaway.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because it's a
Yep.
fallacy that fingernails grow after you're dead. It's just that your skin
Yeah. But it sounds good.
contracts. I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so
And
he
then-
notices that she keeps her fingernails trimmed and that she's really pale and her hair is
Yeah.
white, and she
So
questions
it's-
him and he says, "Yeah, I dye my hair." And
it's zombie love.
well, she's into him, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yep. He's into her, she's into him.
Yep.
It's all good.
That's right.
Meanwhile, you've got Clive's boss,
Mm-hmm.
Suzuki.
Yeah, clipping his
Yeah.
fingernails.
Well, he's all clipping his finger. He's all angry with Clive for looking at those missing teens.
Mm-hmm.
But, we find out when he's like, gets his cup of coffee, he's like, well, I need hot sauce in this coffee. So it's like, he's a zombie too.
That's right.
There's zombies everywhere.
That's right. So we have Lieutenant Suzuki is now a zombie.
Mm-hmm.
And Lowell is a zombie. And a zombie that looks like he'll be recurring, maybe?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I would think so.
And then Major has done something he shouldn't, and he went off to search for his pal.
Yeah, he goes hangs out at the skate park.
Right. And he found the dude that bought, or that I guess he didn't buy the shoes. He just took them from Blaine. And he is unnamed on IMDb, just so you know. I looked up his name.
He's Blaine's zombie friend.
Right. He's just a thug. And he finds him, and he's also a zombie. So...
Yeah. And Major, they get into a fight, which is very unfair.
Yeah.
Because Blaine's zombie friend just wails on poor Major, beats the crap out of him, leaves him like thumped over by one of the skate ramps, and poor skate punk, he's like surrounded by skate punks giving him crap like, dude, get up, you suck.
Get out of the way. Yeah.
You suck.
You suck.
You suck. So he's he's like, not only is he beaten up by a zombie, he's gotten crap from skater punks.
Right.
So that's
in fact, one of the skater punks' name is Shifty Eyed Kid, which I found humorous.
Shifty eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the mystery was okay.
Yep.
But mostly I think this was all about introducing us to more zombies.
Right. And Lowell as the new love interest.
Right. And telling us that the lieutenant was also a zombie, and maybe putting us in the mindset of having Clive find out sooner rather than later, and having maybe Major put in this jeopardy.
So we have to presume that the lieutenant is working for Blaine, right?
Or knows Blaine.
Or knows Blaine, because Blaine knows everybody.
Right.
He's got his fingers in everything.
Well, he knows people of power.
Yep.
That's for sure. So maybe he turned the lieutenant in order to have some sort of sway with the police department.
Yep.
So there's that. And also I want to give a shout out to Ryan Hansen, who played Carson McComb, who was thought to be the murderer until the very end. But surprise, it was Eliza who got away.
Mm-hmm.
But Ryan Hansen...
I'll be back. I'll be back.
Ryan Hansen was on Party Down, a series that I really loved. Apparently they're doing a movie for it, but Party Down was awesome for anyone who's into that sort of kind of
thing.
Yeah, look it up. It's a comedy, but it's also, very biting and silly.
Wacky.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't call it wacky, but I don't know.
I've never seen it, so I have to.
Okay, it's.
I'll go by your description.
I would say it's kind of in the Arrested Development sort of.
Oh, okay.
Ballpark.
Got it.
Ryan Hansen plays an actor who is failing big time as an actor, and he's part of this catering company, and he really thinks he's hot stuff, but he's not at all, and he's really dumb. So yeah, and the guy who Adam Scott is the lead in it. Parks and Rec. So
cool.
But I was surprised to see him in it. He was very good.
Cool.
As kind of a Booster Gold character.
Oh, okay, got it.
Well, in this.
Yes, yeah, he was. I agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
He would be a good Booster Gold, actually.
He would be good. Yeah, he would. So, he's all like, I'm the cool, snowboarder guy.
Right. And he's got pictures up everywhere in his apartment of him giving endorsements with the same face on everything. Okay, so what did you give this?
I gave this one 8 out of 10 cups of coffee with hot sauce.
Nice. And I gave it 8 out of 10 Dr. Scholl's for eBay shoes.
You like that line?
Yeah. Well,
That's good. Yeah.
who would
not?
eBay shoes?
Yeah.
Who would wear used shoes?
Apparently, Blaine's zombie friend.
Yeah, gross though.
Oh, yeah.
Especially
Well,
tennis shoes.
he's dead. I don't think he has to worry about athlete's foot or something.
No, that's true, but still gross.
Yeah. Okay. So moving right along, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Melinda.
I'm fresh off of watching this too.
Yeah. So this is written by D.J. Doyle, directed by Gary A. Brown. And as you might guess by the title, this is a big spotlight episode for everybody's favorite kick-ass S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, Melinda May. We finally get some background on her and find out the deal with her nickname, the Cavalry.
That's right.
So it's some good character background. We flash back to 7 years ago when May was all married to Andrew, who was played by Blair Underwood, once again. They're all like nice, happy domestic. They're planning to have a kid, but doesn't quite work out because Coulson shows up at their house and they go off on a mission where this guy named Agent Hart tells them about this woman named Eva Belyakov, an index candidate with enhanced strength.
Right. And I thought it was really interesting how these two storylines and
yeah.
Let's talk about before we get into it.
No,
let's
go ahead.
talk about Sky. Sky was at what are we calling that?
Afterlife.
Okay, in this afterlife
well,
area.
That's what it's called. Afterlife.
With Jie Yang, who she learned in this episode was her mother, and she's also telling the story, and it turns out to be the same story that we're seeing in flashbacks.
Right.
And they dovetail very nicely. And it's interesting how Jie Yang is taking credit, or not credit, is taking the blame for the fact that she should have saved the day when actually Agent May saved the day for this whole thing. And it ended up coming together in a very interesting way that I did not expect at all. So anyway, continue with your summary.
I'm listening. I'm enjoying it.
You're
doing a good job. Yeah, you're doing a good job.
Okay, well, so they find out about this Russian who has taken some sort of, what is it, a serum or something?
Yeah.
A serum in order to become super, super strong. And I mean super strong.
Right.
Right? She stops a car and walks away.
Yeah, throwing people all across, when they're in Bahrain, she's just flinging people all over the place.
Right. Talk about a table flip. And you guys will know that meme of flipping tables.
Yep.
So she is crazy. They go to see her because they're recruiting, right?
Right.
Like these.
Well, because Nick Fury's he's working on putting together a super-powered team.
Right. Which we later know will be Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or
the
Avengers.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yep.
So they go to see her and they kind of surround her in this bistro area, and Coulson sits down to talk to her and says, we can keep you safe. But she is not interested at all. And there's a reason for that, because it's not her. She doesn't care about herself at all.
Right.
She says, I want your pain. And the reason...
That's a tip-off.
Right. I want your pain. And as they go through this whole thing of trying to get back, she's taking hostages. She's got these Russians that are with her that are also taking hostages, holding guns on their people, and they're kind of winding through these buildings going after her. And apparently it's not so much her as it's her daughter that has these powers.
Yeah, because initially the little girl's like a hostage.
Right.
We think it's a hostage being taken inside.
Right.
But we find out that, guess what? After May takes out the Eva,
Right.
That's like
The mother.
she expects all these mind controlled people to just go back
drop
to
and
normal,
right.
but guess what? They don't.
Nope.
And you find out that dun dun dun.
It's the
It's
little
the dog.
girl.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a little girl.
And she
Uh,
is crazy town, strong,
yeah,
throwing people around.
Katya.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And May apparently has to put her down, which
right.
ruins her.
Yeah, this whole thing, because I think May had it in her head maybe that she wanted a little girl someday,
Mm-hmm.
and she has to take out this little girl who
Yeah.
is just, yeah,
Well, that was the
just
conversation at the beginning she was having with her husband, was that they were going to try for a family.
right.
And it just was heartbreaking to see
So yeah,
all
yeah.
that. And then,
May shoots Katya,
mm-hmm.
and then we've got the other agents where like, hey, good job. You just rode in there like the cavalry
Right.
and saved the day.
And
And May's
she
just like,
didn't,
shut up,
yeah,
guys.
she didn't want that at all. She didn't
No,
feel like a hero in the least.
she just checks out right there at that
Yep.
moment.
Oh, she was out.
Yeah.
Her eyes were dead. And from what we see past that point, her eyes were just dead. With her husband sitting at the desk. Apparently there was a report saying that she was, out of commission.
Yeah, she gets all emotionally withdrawn
Right.
and just is like, she checks out from her marriage. Presumably they divorce
Yeah.
because they're divorced. And, she asked for a reassignment to a desk job because she can't deal with being a field agent anymore.
Right.
Which, as we know from the pilot, that's where Coulson said, okay, I want you to fly
Back
this
in
plane.
force. Yeah.
Yeah, come back to the shield side.
Come back to the dark side.
Yeah, so.
And of course that dovetails with the story that Jiang is telling Sky, that you can't tell anyone that I'm your mother because I allowed this to happen because I let this little girl go. And this is what happened because the mother tried to protect her little girl. And this ruined all these lives. So we can't let it out that I'm your mother and you're my daughter, because then bad things could happen.
It's a parable.
Right.
Yeah.
That family ties can be bad when you have powers.
Yeah, but so what happens eventually, though, Sky ends up having dinner with her mom and dad.
A very awkward family dinner.
Yeah, they're just, which this was a dinner that Raina, the porcupine girl,
Yeah.
had like dream, like one of her, she keeps having recurring or all these nightmares. She can't sleep very well, and had a vision of Sky having dinner with her mom and dad, which apparently now Raina is prophetic.
Right. So she saw this happening.
She saw this happening, and No Eye Guy Gordon is hip to it. He's like, oh, it was a prophecy all along.
Right. So now she has this power that we know of, not just the porcupine things.
And Sky finds out that, oh, guess what? I'm not 25 after all. I'm 26. So I'm a year older than I thought. So did something happen during that missing year?
Who knows? And she has kind of learned about her power a little bit more.
Yeah, she did get a little training from Jiang.
Yeah. She holds a rock thinking that she's going to learn about the rock, but really she hears the mountain.
Right.
And she causes
avalanche.
An avalanche. And it's, by the way, not the ones with the snow on them, but the ones you can see on the side when they show the two women are the Mash Mountains.
Right.
Near Santa Barbara.
Because they're in California when they're filming this.
And I'm like, oh, the Mash Mountains. Okay.
Yep.
So
exactly.
And that doesn't mean like Monster Mash.
Suicide is
right.
painless.
That means the show MASH, you guys.
Yeah. Right. From us old farts that remember MASH.
There is a valley in between Los Angeles and San Diego and Santa Barbara, all in that area there. And they are very recognizable as the mountains where they shot MASH, and that is those those are the mountains right there. So I was like, oh, the MASH mountains.
There you go.
Every time I see them, it's
Or every so often you'll see the Star Trek mountains too.
yes, and I go dun 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 the fighting song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was that, and also the end, right?
Right. Yeah, we had a little teaser, I guess, for next week because we had Fitz all holed up in a bathroom. He's being like followed by the real Shield guys.
Yeah.
Because Fitz, as we know, has the toolbox.
Right.
And while he's in the bathroom, he figures out finally how to open the thing. And it gets all Tony Stark tech, swirly, visual, cool 3D graphics.
Tarot card files.
Yeah, so he's basically find out that the toolbox is a bunch of file folders. And there's apparently information in them.
Right.
That I guess they will be able to use once they actually have time to sit down and look at it somewhere besides a bathroom.
Right.
As you're
Although, it's reading.
Yeah, so
bathroom might be good.
Yeah, so Fitz gets Coulson and Hunter on the
You
blower.
don't care about that, huh?
A little bit.
It's good bathroom reading, right?
Yeah, exactly. Tab. Scroll left.
Yeah, you guys didn't realize, but I did a thing where I licked my finger and I moved the screen.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. You're good. So so he's like calls up Coulson and Hunter for help. He's like, hey, I'm trapped in the bathroom. Guys are trying to get me. How do I get out of the bathroom? There's a hairdryer or a hand dryer. So I guess I could use that. We'll find out how next week.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, dun dun dun. So what was your rating for this episode?
Well, let me check. I gave it 9 Twisted Daisy bouquets. And I gave it 9 because I really liked Melinda's backstory.
Right.
Agent May's backstory.
I did like the fact that we finally got the backstory on May. I think that was long overdue. But otherwise, I didn't feel like the episode, apart from that, it was background on May and Skye training.
Yeah, it didn't move the plot forward very much.
Yeah, and not much. I mean, we had a little bit with the real Shield, but not a whole lot.
Right.
So I just gave this one 8 out of 10 open toolboxes.
Yeah. I like backstories for some reason.
It's good, and I'm glad May got some backstory and got a little showcase. So
she's a great character.
She is. Yeah. I could watch May all day. Yeah. So I was good with that. All right, coming up, show number 5, Arrow. With Broken Arrow.
I should put all the sound effects on here.
Yes,
I?
you should.
Okay.
You can have it for next week.
Okay, I will.
All right. Written by Ben Sokolowski and Brian Ford Sullivan, directed by Doug Arino Kokoski or whatever that it's a lot of letters.
All right.
So we'll just go with that. Arino Kokoski. I don't know. I'll try that. And
what you said.
With special guest villain Doug Jones as Deathbolt.
Yeah, Doug Jones.
Yeah,
he's
Doug
awesome.
Jones, who, as geeks out there all across the world know, this is Abe Sapien from Hellboy.
Yep.
One of the gentlemen from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. All kinds of goodness. He's just awesome.
Yeah, he's a great costume villain.
Yes,
but he was pretty much his own self in this.
Yeah, it was weird because he's not wearing makeup in this. You actually get to see him as Doug Jones.
Right.
You're so used to him wearing all kinds of freaky makeup,
a demon mask,
and moving around because he's a great physical actor that can just contort his body in all kinds of ways, really disturbing ways too. So he's just basically straight up supervillain in this, and I'm thinking he's probably enjoying it because he gets his actual face on camera.
Sure. I'm okay with it too. I like him very much.
Yeah, I've actually met him before, and at Comic-Cons, wonderful guy.
Yeah,
nothing but praise for Doug Jones. He's awesome.
I've heard him in interviews a lot, and he's very, very receptive to talking to fans and being
really
out
nice
there.
guy.
And
So I give him props because he's just a really nice guy to talk to.
Yeah,
and so highly recommended.
And he loves working
Yep.
He loves doing things. He loves like immersing himself in his craft. So I dig him.
Yeah, he's a great performer.
Yeah.
And we also get a little cameo by Carlos Valdez as Cisco Ramon,
That's
surprisingly.
right.
Yeah, Cisco pops over.
Yep.
Because
Surprise.
they're basically Arrow and the Flash are just one show that's on twice a week.
That's right. I'd be okay with that.
And it's basically it is. Yeah, we've got Ray. We start off with Ray. He's a little backpedaling on his commitment of love to Felicity.
Well, she didn't say it back, so
Yeah, so he's like, oh, I was kind of out of it. I was in the hospital. I'm on meds.
I think that's more for her.
Oh, yeah, he's letting her off the hook.
Yeah, he doesn't want to pressure her.
But he's also trying to save face a little bit, too.
Do you think that's most of it, though? I think most of it is for her.
Speaking as a guy, yes, he's trying to save face a little bit.
All right. I'd like to think it's for her, though.
It may be more for her, but there's also got to be a part of him is like, I got to, I put myself out there and got rejected. So I got to, dial this back. It's like, and blow it off.
Okay.
Yeah. Merlin, meanwhile, is telling Oliver, guess what? Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, depending on which character says it,
it's Roz.
It's Roz, but they go with Ra's. So, is still going to pursue you no matter Roy getting arrested and taking the heat for you. So you better be ready for that.
Yeah.
And Captain Lance, who is a serious douchebag in this episode, big time. I mean, understandably, he's upset at Oliver and Laurel for keeping Sarah's death from him, but he's just gone way off the reservation here.
Yeah.
And he's just upset. He's like, and somebody makes a comment that he's like Ahab in his obsession
for the white whale.
Trying to take down Oliver and prove that he's, responsible.
I don't get it. I mean, the Arrow has done way more good than bad.
Right. It's like, dude, not like 6 episodes ago, you guys were buds, and now you're hating on him, and you're raiding the Arrow Cave, which is that's just wrong, dude. You're all kinds of wrong, because he gets the SCPD, they raid it, but guess what? They only find Roy's fingerprints.
Hello, Felicity.
Yeah, Felicity works her magic special, selective fingerprint removal skills. And it's like, okay, everybody's fingerprints but Roy's.
If anyone can do it, it's Felicity.
Let me just wipe these down.
It could be some ionization thing.
Yeah, it's like, there's Roy's. I'll just move around those and wipe over here. So... Sorry, as a writer, I'm just like, really?
What she did is she cleaned the whole room.
Yeah.
And she placed Roy's fingerprints on.
I would think that would be easier.
Yeah.
But she said, though, she wiped them down.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So she wiped everybody's down, then slapped some fingerprints.
Right.
Roy touched this, but he's in prison. How could she do that?
She had everyone's fingerprints.
Okay. All right.
You don't think she keeps everyone's fingerprints on file? Come on.
Sure, why not? Sure, why not? As you do.
Of course she does.
Okay.
Why wouldn't she want to frame everyone? I mean, what?
Nice.
Thank you.
Okay, so we've got this problem with Deathbolt, and Oliver's like, well, I got my sidekick. He's in the slammer. But I got this Deathbolt guy I got to deal with.
Plus, he's a metahuman.
Yeah, he's a metahuman. He's kind of out of my league.
And I can't be the Arrow.
So how do I do that? And Ray's over there going, ooh, me.
He is actually doing that.
So Felicity is like, how about Ray, who's got Iron Atom suit? Dun dun dun. And so Oliver's like, okay, you can help out with the metahuman.
But as soon as something happens,
yes, yeah.
As soon as you're in over your head,
yeah, it doesn't go quite well. So they do a take two with Oliver controlling Ray's suit remotely like a puppet.
Yep.
So he's like, okay, Oliver's going, I've got the mad fighting skills, you've got the tech.
Mm-hmm.
So let me work the suit for you because you're not doing it right.
Right.
I could just get in the suit and fight, but
No, let's do it this way.
let's do it this way because I want to just mess with you.
Because let's make it as complicated as we possibly can.
Yeah, let's work all this remote stuff, and while there's precious time, while this supervillain's on the loose,
let's fight against each other in the suit.
Me climbing in the suit.
Right.
You know, I don't know.
Right.
Arrow Riders, what are you doing this season? Seriously, for reals. But so they've got it where Oliver's controlling Ray's suit, but the connection gets severed. And this would be the point where you do the Price is Right fail music.
Yeah.
So Ray's left to deal with Deathbolt on his own.
Right.
And he gets kind of like slapped around a little bit, but then, yeah. Isn't that fun? And so he's on his own, but then, like the true hero he is inside, he overcomes adversity and takes out Deathbolt.
That's right.
So he's like, yes, today I am a man. I defeated a supervillain.
Today I am a man. He had his bar mitzvah.
Exactly.
Right there.
That's funny.
I'm sorry, you said today I am a man.
I know. Meanwhile, poor Roy, gets shivved by Iron Heights prison guard.
That's right.
Left for dead, bleeding out.
That's right.
And dies, presumably, because Captain Lance, everybody's buddy, Captain Lance comes over and says, Oliver, you totally let Roy die. It's all your fault because you suck.
Yep.
And you're a jerk. And
well, he keeps saying crap like that through the whole episode. If Roy gets shivved, it's another life on his hands.
Yeah, exactly.
All these bodies he's been racking up.
And you're like, just want to shake your hands going, why? What are you doing, Lance? Come on, Quentin. Give it the program. So, but guess what? Roy's not dead after all. Surprise.
That's
it's all fake. It's all faked. Roy shows up at the Arrow Cave all alive. And guess what? Since everybody thinks the Arrow is dead, quote unquote, air quotes, he's dead.
That's right.
So I guess that clears Oliver of any connections.
That's right.
Oliver's free to go do whatever. But since Roy is, like as far as everybody knows, Roy Harper's dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to just leave Starling City and go off to probably another TV show.
You think?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'll be very surprised if he doesn't.
Me too.
Although he is supposed to be in one more episode this season.
Sure.
So we'll find out. But
well, there is a crossover episode coming, so he might be in that one.
He might be in that, but yeah. So Roy's like, okay, bye, everybody. I'm going to go off and
learn my Arsenal skills.
Yeah, I'm going to be Arsenal somewhere else.
Yep.
So Ray takes Deathbolt to Star Labs to throw him in the Star Labs slammer.
Mm-hmm.
And finally points out that he asked the question I've been dying to know is, how do the Star Labs villains poop and eat in those cells?
Yeah.
Because
they do not answer that question.
There are no toilets. They don't seem to feed them. So does like Caitlin and Cisco go around all day with trays and feed them? What? We don't know because nobody answers that awkward question.
Nope.
This has been bugging me from day one.
Nope. But we still don't know.
But at least they addressed it. Like, okay, we know it's a problem.
But we're not going to
explain it away.
There might be a little lav in the wall.
Maybe it pops out.
Maybe. And there might be a little place for food, like a dumbwaitery thing.
Or like one of those Hannibal Lecter slots, you know. But at least show us this. If you know it, you acknowledge the fact that there's a problem. Show us the solution to
Maybe
the
that's
problem.
going to be a running joke.
I don't know, but it bugs me to no end.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And
At
then,
least
of course,
somebody, yeah.
Cisco interrupts by saying that Deathbolt was in prison in another city when the reactor went off.
So how could he have superpowers?
Who knows?
So that's like this mind-blowing idea that maybe supervillains can get powers besides the particle accelerator explosion.
That's right. So that means there could be superpowers elsewhere.
All over the place.
That's right. And last but not least,
which I thought was great because that's like, okay, we don't have to have all of our villains come from that particle accelerator.
That's right.
I'm very happy about that.
Right. And then the big cliffhanger at the end.
Yeah, it's like, oh, guess what? You thought Roy was dead, and he's not. So what happens in the big shocker is like, okay, now that you're all calmed down from that excitement, Thea gets attacked by Roz in her apartment.
She's no match.
Yeah, because she's way out of her weight class.
Yeah.
Gets stabbed in the chest, left bleeding out on the floor, just like her boyfriend, Roy.
And her mother.
And her mother and all kinds of people on this show.
Yeah.
So, but, we know, again, from the previews for next week that she's probably going to get better.
You know what they're doing with her.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly what they're doing with her. It's a little thing called, altogether now, Lazarus Pit. Exactly.
Yeah. So she's going to be the first one to use the Lazarus Pit.
And get brought back.
And
And
then this is going to set it up for Katie.
Yeah, Katie Lotz's character, Sarah, I would think. Because Oliver would be like, oh, by the way, I've got my dead girlfriend. Could you bring her back too?
Right. So is that going to be the impetus for him to do that? Or for him and what's her name? Nissa to get together and pull Sarah out. And...
It's like pop her out of the ground. They're like, oh, yeah.
That's gross, though.
Nissa, hopefully she hasn't decayed much.
Or maybe he goes to pull her out of the ground and Nissa's already taken her.
Ooh. That would be cool. It's like, Sarah's body's gone. What happened?
Yeah.
Guess what? Nissa already took it.
Yeah.
That's great.
But all I could think was, and I know that they're going to use the Lazarus Pit on Thea. Yep. I know that already. But if Thea died like this, this would be the end for Oliver.
I know.
That everyone in his life was killed.
Exactly.
And like 3 of them like this.
Exactly. He's got a bad family track record.
Yeah, he should stay away from swords.
Probably worse than Bruce Wayne.
Right.
Yeah.
He was killed like this.
Yeah, his dad died, his mom died, now his sister died.
Right. Shadow.
Yeah, Shadow died. Yeah.
Too many people. Oh, his best friend, Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy died. Good.
In his arms.
Good point.
Essentially.
So, yep. Sadly, Laurel's still alive, but... Oh, well.
Not a big Laurel fan, are we?
No, not really. Okay, so what did you give this episode?
I gave this one 8.5 mystery metahumans.
Okay. I like the fact that they did this whole, like, second twist of the episode with a big game changer at the end. So I give this one 9 out of 10 prison shivs.
Very nice. We weren't too far off. 8.5.
No, we weren't. 9. No, we're pretty in sync for the most part.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. Which is good because that way we don't have arguments.
That's right.
Yay.
We wouldn't have arguments anyway.
We'd have discussions.
Right.
Okay. All right. Lastly, because I know we've pretty much blown that hour time limit right out of the water already.
Nah, we talk about a lot of shows.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, we got one more to go. Cutman, the second episode of Daredevil.
That's right.
And written by Drew Goddard, directed by Phil Abraham, like the first episode. And this episode introduces us to Rosario Dawson as Claire Temple.
She is amazing.
She's great in this episode. her Claire Temple in this series is kind of an amalgamation of Claire Temple from the comics, who was this like ex-wife of Dr. Bill Foster, the guy who becomes like the second Goliath, and she ends up romantically linked with Luke Cage in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of blend her with this character called Night Nurse,
Mm-hmm.
who is essentially the emergency patch-up doctor that a lot of the New York superheroes go to when they
Okay.
get injured. So they kind of blended those two characters together. Because in this episode, Daredevil we open up with him like bleeding out. He's found in a dumpster. He gets fished out of there, and Claire takes him up to her apartment, unmasks him.
Yep.
So this is the first person he's really revealed his identity to.
Unknowingly, albeit.
Not intentionally,
Yeah.
but yeah. And I did like the fact that Matt doesn't open up right away and tell her who he is. So she gives him the alias Mike.
Right.
And that, for Daredevil fans, long time Daredevil fans may know, is a reference to this alias Mike Murdock that Daredevil took way back in Daredevil number 16, where he posed as his own fake twin brother
Okay.
to help preserve his secret identity.
All right.
He did this for like a year and a half, as this like Mike Murdock was this cool, like apparently sighted brother that could go around, because with Daredevil he could fake having real eyesight.
Sure.
So he just wore sunglasses.
Sure.
And it's like, hey, I'm gonna go off and I'm carefree and I'm a party guy, and complete opposite from Matt's lawyer persona.
Okay.
So that was a nice
that
little
was a little in joke.
little in joke, yeah, for
Okay.
Daredevil fans. But he ends up finally revealing his real name to Claire.
Right. Well,
So
I
it's
mean,
like-
what's the point of hiding?
Yeah. So he admits that. And during a great sequence, I thought there's a sequence where this Russian is tracking, looking for Daredevil, enters Claire's building. Matt smells him by his bad cologne all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes up to Claire's apartment, asks where if he's seen Daredevil and the masked vigilante or whatever, and Matt's all hiding out. And then as soon as the guy leaves, Matt follows him out into the hallway, and as the guy reaches the bottom of the stairs, Matt reaches for a fire extinguisher
Mm-hmm.
and just goes
Yeah. Drops it right on him.
bong, and bunks him on the head with it, which I thought was just fantastic.
And the guy holds up a sign that says, "Help."
Exactly. It's like all Wile E. Coyote. Exactly. And you would think that that would make his split his head wide open like a cantaloupe.
Yeah, but not so much.
But not so much.
No.
And Claire's just like, did you really just throw that or drop that fire extinguisher on that guy?
Well, he was pretending to be a policeman,
Right.
and he did it very well. But
Yeah. But then he started calling somebody and he's talking to him in Russian
right,
on the phone.
right.
Yeah.
And Matt knows he's not.
Mm-hmm.
So
That was pretty funny.
yeah,
Um,
it was very funny.
yeah.
I really did think it was like an anvil.
Yeah. We do get
Acme.
Exactly. It should have said Acme on the Acme fire extinguishers.
That would have been the best.
That would have been too funny.
Yeah.
We get some flashbacks with Matt's dad, Jack Murdock, Batlin Jack Murdock,
Mm-hmm.
who gets I guess he's working out, training for this fight against this fighter named Crusher Creel, who comics fans may know differently as the Absorbing Man.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Have we?
Yeah, we have. We've seen the Absorbing Man in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh,
So there's that nice little tie-in.
okay.
Yep. So
Thank you.
You're welcome. You have to go back and check that out.
I will. I'll go back and
Okay.
check it out.
the Irish mobsters are like, Jack, you got to throw this fight because if you don't, something might happen to you, and then your kid's gonna be all alone, no money. What are you gonna do?
That was a nice comment too. When they talked about Matt, and they were like, "You're young enough; you could have another kid."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Rude.
Yeah, exactly. Well, these are mob guys. They're not exactly the most charming people on the planet.
I know. Like he was ruined, because he lost his sight.
And Matt, because of his sensitive hearing, he can hear all this. He knows what's going on.
Right.
And so he's a little concerned that his father is about throwing the fight, but he understands probably why.
Sure.
One would hope.
Well, I think he'd rather his dad throw the fight than get hurt.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he's disappointed, but he gets it. But then he's also proud in the end that his dad didn't, I think.
Yeah, because later on, Jack decides, okay, I'm going to do something for my boy. So he puts all the money on, he gets a hold of a bookie, he says, put all this money on me beating Creel and, leaving it in a safety deposit box for my son.
Mm-hmm.
And because he knows he's probably going to die.
Yep.
At this point. He knows the mob's going to get him.
Right.
So he decides, okay, I'm doing this for my boy so my boy can have a future in life. So he beats Creel in the fight. Matt actually overhears this because he's listening to the fight on TV at home. But then, of course, he hears a gunshot as later on Jack is shot dead in the alleyway near their apartment.
Yep.
And Matt races to his side, going, "Dad, Dad, you killed my dad. Oh, now I'm going to be a vigilante and fight crime."
Oh.
Yeah, it's his Batman moment.
Yeah.
So.
But unlike Bruce Wayne, he can't see his father die.
Yeah.
Even more tragic. And there were scenes of... Are you crying? There were scenes of him learning Braille also, and things like that. This is pretty much his origin story in this episode. So...
And I did like that we get those... Well, you brought up the Braille stuff, that he's explaining some of the difficulties that are involved in learning Braille, which stuff I obviously would not know, but I found really interesting to find out
that it was
certain letters are trouble, and there's no I guess because it was developed by the French and they don't have the letter W and stuff, and I was like,
we had to put in our own letter W when it was yeah. I learned Braille at some point. I don't know, junior high.
Yep.
To a certain extent. I have a friend who was deaf, and I learned sign language. And I also got into learning other disabled forms of communication, so I learned Braille as well, and it is very challenging.
I'm sure it is.
So, yeah.
But Matt probably picked it up really quickly because he's so sensitive in his touch.
Yeah.
He probably had advantage over other kids trying to learn Braille.
Sure. I would assume.
I would think.
Plus, if you're blind, you have to.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You don't really have a choice. It's like, oh, you want to read? Well, guess what? You better figure this out.
Braille.
Better learn. Yeah. There was a great scene that I just loved where Foggy and Karen are drunk and just drunk off their ass.
BFFs.
Yeah, and they're just hanging out.
Because she's all down.
Yeah, exactly. He's trying to cheer up, but also kind of flirt with her in the process because he's crushing on her big time.
Yeah.
He's got and I can understand. It's Deborah Ann Wall. Who's not going to crush on that?
She's gorgeous.
So yeah, they get drunk and they're like, go back to Matt's apartment. And they're like banging on the door. Matt,
come on, party with us, dude.
And they're waking up the neighbors.
Yep.
And
Matt's not there.
And so Foggy turns around and is like, hey, you want to come along with us, neighbor? Hey, come on, we'll go out and party. But
they don't really want to go.
I just love that scene. And then they go off and just leave and go, hitting the streets of Manhattan and having a good old time.
Yeah. Little do they know that Matt was shivved in a dumpster.
Yeah, he's like, I'm sorry, I can't party. I've been shivved and
I'm bleeding out.
Bleeding out. So sorry. meanwhile, you've got Daredevil and Claire wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I guess, cut open like holes in a pillowcase and put her hoodie up.
Yep.
And just kind of watching as Matt just tortures the heck out of this Russian gangster guy.
Yeah, that apparently is not hurt very much.
Yeah, so he's just torturing and he's trying to find out where his boss is because he's still looking for this kidnapped little boy.
Mm-hmm.
He gets the information of where the boss is and then drops the guy off the roof into the same dumpster he was probably dropped in.
Right. I'm guessing it's the same dumpster.
Irony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, Claire says, well, is he alive? He'll
Right.
live.
And then, in this fantastic final scene, Daredevil goes to the gang's hideout.
Yeah.
And there is a spectacular hallway fight.
One of the best self-contained fight scenes I've ever seen.
This is one continuous shot.
Yep.
For like 5 minutes.
Yep.
Maybe more, maybe 7 minutes of this fight where just Matt's going guy by guy, like he'll duck into a room and you see guys flying out and then, he's just guys coming at him. He takes out the guys, he's getting some punches. He's not just cleaning house. He's getting beat up in the process too. Just battles his way through these guys until they're all taken out.
What a great fight scene.
It's beautiful. And it's like Arrow, I know you have some great fight sequences, but that was just
Daredevil is beating them.
That's a new level of fight sequence.
Yeah, and I hear there are even better ones. I haven't gotten any further than this. So
I've gotten to episode. We just finished episode 8.
Nice.
So I got 5 more to go.
And there are better fight scenes than this, even.
I don't think there are good fight sequences.
But this
one's still my favorite.
Okay.
But
this one is fantastic.
I still have 5 more to go.
I love the lighting even. It's kind of dark and moody and it looks almost wet.
But the good thing is it's not so dark that you can't see what's going on.
Right. Well, there's light from all the doorways.
Yeah.
And then from the end of the hallway, I think there's light coming in. And
it's very carefully lit.
Yes.
So you can see the action.
Right. And you know exactly which one is Matt every time he's in the picture.
Yep.
And they crash in and out of doorways and another guy will come into the fight and it's just beautiful. And
then in my favorite moment, like all the guys are taken out, Matt's standing there by himself.
Breathing heavy.
Breathing heavy, bruised and battered, but then he goes to the door, unlocks the door, goes in and says, "Hey, I'm here to rescue you."
Right. And it's off screen too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I love about it.
And then he carries out this little boy and it's like
brilliant.
He saved the day. A perfect ending. Perfect ending to that episode.
I love it so much that they're showing us that this was one continuous shot by letting him go into the room off screen.
Right.
Breathing heavy and telling the kid, I'm here to save you. Let's go.
Exactly. All right. So what did you give this episode?
9 hallway fights.
9 hallway fights. That's excellent. I gave it 9 out of 10 dropped fire extinguishers.
Yeah. So good. This Daredevil show.
Right. It's
So
Marvel,
good.
you finally have that home run we've all been waiting for.
Yeah. Yeah. And it took Netflix. I mean, maybe you have to be off broadcast TV to do a 10 show.
Yeah, exactly. But it's okay. And we still got 3 more Marvel shows to go on Netflix. We've got Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and and Iron Fist. So
that's right.
I can't imagine Iron Fist. Oh my God! If they have the same fight guys for Iron Fist,
that'll be crazy good.
Oh, can't wait!
Crazy good.
All right, so I know we're running long again.
Do we have any feedback?
I don't have any feedback. I do need to wrap this up pretty quickly because I have another podcast in the works.
Well, I do want to give one shout out. I've posted some things on our Facebook page, but I posted an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. promo, and we got a like from J. August Richards.
AKA Deathlock.
That's right. And I think that is awesome. I fangirled out over that. But there are some promo posts over there. We will talk more about the spoilers and stuff in our half episode coming soon in a couple of days. But I think that's it for our episode 5. And where can they get in touch with us?
They can get in touch with me at Charles Skaggs, or they can get in touch with the Fandom Zone podcast at Fandom Zone Cast on Twitter.
Yep.
We're on Facebook, the Fandom Zone podcast. We're on iTunes. We're all over the place.
Yep.
So you can find us there.
fandomzonecast@gmail.com.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
At Elevaria.
On Twitter.
Yep. And you are? Come on.
At Charles Skaggs, and then she wants me to say it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on the Facebook. I'm on the Instagram. I'm on the Google Plus for all you crazy kids.
On
the Google Plus.
I love it. I know you gotta go, but come on.
And my blog of geeky things, damn good coffee and hot. Yep. So come check us out. Let us know what you think of us on iTunes and on Facebook, because we want to build a community. We definitely need some more likes on Facebook. So help us out. And we will see you guys as Karen gets ready for the music.
I already
see you guys. We'll get to see you guys another time.
Hold on.
Bye, everyone. Okay. Bye, everybody.
So, we'll see you guys next time.
Nice.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.